Before saying anything, I just want to say that tomorrow is going to be the day of reckoning. It may possibly be that after 3 years of investing money in this godforsaken stock market, I might actually break fucking even. This is all. This is all thanks to one stock called GCP Global. What the fuck is your name? Something Applied Technologies. I don't even know what the fuck they do. All I know is I bought 15 contracts, $150. You see that? You see that percentage right there? You see that percentage right there? That's what I'm talking about, bro. You need to stop spending money on Dragon Stones and gambling in Dokkan where you could gamble in real life with old white people. That's who I like gambling with now, is the old white people. But as you can see, speaking of Dokkan, we have the badass. I actually like this leader skill a lot. I can't remember of anyone else that has this leader skill of hybrid Saiyans and pure Saiyans, and it's like amazing, fucking amazing. But I'm gonna go ahead and do the Dokkan event boss rush number 10. I'm pretty sure that's probably the best we're gonna get because no one really runs that Goku as leader. I personally don't like the fact that he doesn't have Fierce Battle, but what are you gonna do? Pure Saiyans. Yeah, alright, no problem, man, no problem. Now, my question is, should I run him or should I run Goku? I guess this is good enough. I don't think I really need to go crazy with support items, so I'll just do that, and I'm sure at some point I'll fuck up and have to use something, but as you can see, by the way, I use a sticker on this Trunks. Definition of sexy, bro. It's ridiculous how attractive this man is. It's like, I'm not gay, but it's just something about it, bro. There's something about you. It's hard to explain. Kavinsky, bro. Fire. But, I actually came to a realization quite recently, probably the past week, that I have been very, more miserable than usual. That's not super miserable, but fairly miserable. Oh my god, dude. Dude, the fact that this guy does not need any key, I'm nutting, bro. I'm already nutting. I'm pre-nutting. Um, but yeah, I came to a realization that I've been more miserable than usual. A lot of it being related to two things. One is that, let's be honest, this is one hell of a year. It's not exactly the best of circumstances for people. You know what I mean? Like in general, I would think most people are fucking miserable. But I've been feeling really miserable. I think for a large part of what I did to myself in terms of making myself super duper ambitious, which is a good thing to be ambitious. But at the same time, you also need to enjoy what you have now. So, for example, for the past couple months, I've been, applying to different jobs and studying for different things. And in the process of doing that, I basically drained my energy to levels that I did not know was possible, which is a good and a bad thing. It's bad because my energy is so fucking low, but it's good because I did do a lot of kind of self-study and a lot of things. And honestly, I'm really happy with myself because I've never really done this much studying by myself other than one time in the past, and that was for like calculus. And math, for me, math is way easier than computer science. I don't know what it is about computer science that, like, if I really think about it, the problems aren't super hard, but I've always thought math was easier just because, you have formulas, you have different ways to do it. I think I definitely need to get better with either, whether it's memorization or just accepting certain algorithms and using different approaches, and I think that'll definitely make it easier for me to solve problems. Me personally, whenever I solve a problem, I like doing it my way in terms of, like, not, just taking whatever algorithm may be the right one. I'm going to go ahead put that go. Nah, fuck that. I mean, I get some dodges, but it ain't worth it, man. It ain't worth it. Not all that pain and suffering, man. So let's go ahead and do that, and then let's go ahead and fuck it, we'll do that. But I actually did do quite a bit of studying, and I am trying to get better at that. But I was like really wrapped up in the fact that I really wanted to get a newer job somewhat time soon. I didn't want to keep commuting to my job, and I feel like I'm getting underpaid, etc., etc. But I feel like I started focusing on that too much, where like, you know, and it's hard because like right now, like the last time I saw my friends, I ended up seeing them like a week ago, which was nice. But at the same time, it's been months and months and months of like literally just being home, doing work, studying on my own, talking to recruiters, and then you kind of get in this mind space of like, oh, I need a new job. I absolutely need a new job to be happy because I'll have more money. If I have more money, then I can more easily buy a house or whatever the fuck it may be. And that's another thing, is that I've been trying to get better with several things, which again isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I think I got to the point where like I was starting to make myself miserable, whereas in the past I would not care whatsoever. And I think that has, a portion to do with just different thinking, as well as like my family just drained the shit out of me. Like I told them, dude, what I love about my family, I told them like we'll try to buy a house in like July or August, right? And this was before I started looking at houses. And then now they're getting salty. They're like, dude, why don't you buy a house? Right now, literally, is one of the worst times to buy a house. It's good because interest rates are low. It's bad because so many people are not selling their house. So there's like a lack of inventory and a shit ton of demand. So like literally, there's the houses I looked at are selling for $30,000 to $40,000 more than what they're listed for, which I really don't want to fucking pay. And they've been like, dude, get a house. What the fuck, you piece of shit, you goddamn fucker. So I've been very obsessed with like getting a new job. I've also been thinking about getting a new house. Well, getting a house. I don't have a house. As well as in general, just trying to get better. But I feel like I really got off the mark in terms of like not appreciating what I have, because honestly, recently, this is gonna sound so retarded, but I like had like I think 1 or 2 days off from work, and I ended up playing Dishonored again. I played Dishonored in 2015. That's a gotcha game. By the way, I never got that. I never paid for that game. Like I was on 4chan in 2014, and some guy for Christmas was giving away free games on Steam because he's like, you know what, fuck it, bro. Like, I got a job, I got some money, I'm gonna buy you guys games. Like, any game that's like $5 or less. I think it was like Steam Christmas sale or something like that. And he ended up buying me Dishonored. And I remember, like, dude, I love this game so much, and I played it so much originally, and now I'm playing it again. And I'm just, like, mind boggled at the fact that I'm so fucking cheap. I didn't pay $5 to get this game. And Dishonored 2, I ended up pirating it because I'm like, I looked at the price, I was like, yo, if it's $10, I'll pay for it. That shit is $30. I ain't paying $30 for an old-ass game. I want that shit for free. And after playing it, I'm actually happy I pirated it because it looks fucking retarded. But I'll give it a chance. If it's good, I'll go give him money. But anyway, I ended up taking a little bit of time off. I ended up relaxing a little bit. And I ended up really just having a really, really good relaxed weekend, which is something that I think I needed. Which, again, that's disgusting. It sounds like I'm a fucking adult, but I guess I am an adult. I mean, I'm 26, so I guess at this point, like, I'm basically an old fucking man that just refuses to grow up, because I really should at this point be talking about how happy I am with my 401k and my fucking yacht and whatever the fuck else you get when you turn 30. But yeah, I'm really happy because, like, I kind of took a moment to sit back and really look at what I've accomplished and what I've done. I mean, obviously I don't, like, it's hard because I haven't really bought anything since I got a job. Like, I've been saving money very, like, religiously, for, the purpose of buying a house. I mean, I've spent some money. I mean, it's not like for example, this year, ironically enough, I was like, listen, I need to invest money in the stock market, like, in a more active role so I can learn something. So I ended up, January deciding to, invest in certain stocks and earnings season, Microsoft, etc., etc. And it's been a really good learning experience. I definitely learned. One thing I learned is that I'm fucking retarded for investing at the beginning of earnings season, literally the fucking peak of money. Like, literally, I decided to invest when the stock market cannot be higher. Q4 results, which is Christmas. Like, Christmas is always a big quarter. Q4 fucking results, and my dumbass is like, yeah, this is the time to buy in. Right now, when the market's at an all-time high, this is the time. And then obviously March was a fucking bloodbath, but I pretend like that didn't happen. For me, it's been, like, really nice to relax. And one thing I did recently that made me so fucking happy is I went to the grocery store, and for the first time, I actually, bought a bunch of shit that I actually wanted, because, I still have, broke broke bitch mentality, because I am a broke bitch, but like I'm not a super broke bitch. Like I remember when I was younger, like we were so broke that we would just like literally like we literally would just have leftovers of the same shit over and over again. And like my dad would go get fucking bagels. We have bagels for breakfast every fucking day because some guy, like, I don't know, like, I never bought bagels. Like, there was always just some mong who was, like, the bagel connect. Like, this motherfucker worked at Dunkin' Donuts, or he worked somewhere, and he's like, yo, here you go, bro. Here's a motherfucking barrel of fucking bagels. And you're like, thank you, bro. You feeding my family, bro. Let me see. Let's do that. Ooh, Dokkan. We don't even need it, but okay. And in general, we never really went shopping and got like super expensive shit. Usually, whatever the fucking cheapest shit was. And recently, I ended up going shopping and I bought like a bunch of steaks for the first time. It wasn't super expensive. I mean, it is expensive, but it isn't. I don't know. It's hard to tell because, like, for me, I feel like it's expensive because I ended up paying like, I think it was like, what was it, $15 for 3 steaks, so each steak was $5. Whereas in the past, you'd get like a big chunk of fucking meat, and it'd be like $10. But dude, these steaks were god tier, dude. Like they weren't ribeye, but they had some fat on that shit. I was like, oh my god, bro, I'm living life right now. So like, I think in general, I'm trying to get into a better ebb and flow in terms of like what to spend money on, what to not. I really don't spend money that much. I tell you right now, one thing I fucking miss is like 3 months, no, not 3 months, but like 8 months ago, I had like a good ass DoorDash scheme going where basically there's like a subreddit where you could put your link and you'd get a bunch of promo codes. And I had like $5,000 in DoorDash credits, dude. Like it was ridiculous how much fucking money I had in that account. And it just like was fucking adding up like a motherfucker. And I was like, holy shit, dude, I can eat free forever. But unfortunately, DoorDash, I don't know what the fuck they did, but they somehow, some way, changed the way in which you get referrals. I don't know how they changed it, but they changed it because now, like, I'll look at my account, it'll be like $80. You know what I mean? Like some fucking chump change where it's like I buy 1 or 2 meals with the fucking fees, quote unquote, they apply. So that's the thing. You literally cannot order from Grubhub or DoorDash or whatever the fuck by legitimate means because you would literally go fucking broke. Like you can't afford that shit. That shit is dumb expensive. But that was a god tier, dude. That shit. I felt like I was living like a motherfucking king, bro. But in general, I think that I've just been enjoying life, even though it's kind of hard to do that because like you literally can't see your friends that often because either one, they're working in general, or two, the fact that you can't fucking go out because of the fucking global pandemic. But in general, I've been learning to be a little bit more grateful and not go balls to the wall. Because for me personally, it's very hard to kind of do productive stuff and unproductive stuff at the same time. What I mean by that is like when I was in college, I didn't play video games that much. That the reason why I ended up playing Dokkan is because it was like one of those things where it's like, whatever, it's a mobile game. How much time can this take up? Here I am fucking 6 years later or 5 years later. And it's like, what the fuck? This shit is like eating up. This shit is eating up all my time. But I didn't have like a PlayStation 4. I didn't have an Xbox One. And one of the reasons why I wanted to like stay away from that and not get that is because of the fact that I didn't want to get tempted and fucking, like, oh, okay, now I play. Like, for example, I remember when I played Red Dead Redemption for the first time. That game was so fucking goddamn intoxicating that I remember I spent the entire summer playing that game. No life the shit out of it. I fucking loved it. Dude, 2010, amazing year, dude. Between Red Dead Redemption, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and fucking Call of Duty Black Ops, dude, I swear to God, I think I spent more time in front of that TV than I did anywhere else. It was amazing, dude. If I could go back in time, I would go back to 2010. That was intoxicating. Yeah, once I was in college, like, I didn't really play video games that much, and that's kind of the same way I feel now, where, like, I'm trying to get a new job. It's like, I don't want to play games. I don't want to do anything that's not productive. But then you feel miserable, and you want to fucking kill yourself, and then, like, you end up taking, like, a day or two, or even a week to just do nothing but unproductive shit. But in general, I think I've been learning to be a little bit more productive, learning to be a little bit more careful with my time. And it's funny because literally I've never had this much time, at least while working, this much free time, because literally I get up at like 9 a.m. I fucking have a meeting, have another meeting. After that, I usually do work for like 3 hours, take a lunch break, 2 or 3 hours, take a lunch break. And then after that, I'll have another meeting or do a couple more things of work, review some shit, and then work is over like 6 o'clock, 6 or 7, depends like if I'm sucked into anything. And then after that, it's like, you know, well, not really. Like, I usually get up like 9:30, and I don't really get the ball rolling until like 10, quarter to 10, so it's not like I'm up at 9 doing work. But either way, the point I'm trying to make is I have a ridiculous amount of free time. Like, this is the first time since I've been working that I actually have a majority of my time to myself as opposed to my company. And I'm working from home too. Like, the whole time I'm doing this, it's not like I have to be in an office or I have to drive there. That's another reason why. And probably what also has helped me relax a little bit more is that I was kind of thinking of trying to get a new job before I had to start driving back to my job because I have like a 50 minute commute. And it'd be nice to not do that anymore because literally while I've been staying at home, I've saved so much money because I don't have to pay $150 a month for Easy Pass. I don't have to pay like $180 a month for gas. You know what I mean? That shit adds up, bro. Nigga, fucking $400? 400 times 12, that's $4,800. That's $5,000, nigga. That's a lot of fucking money. So I definitely want to try to, get a new job before I have to start driving back to work. But thankfully, my job just fucking gave up. They're like, fuck this. Like, they basically said, we are not going back to the office until 2021. When in 2021? January, February? I don't know. Me personally, I'm going to try to stay home as long as my team stays home. I have no real reason to go into the office. I like working in person more than home. But at the same time, that commute is an L. That money is an L. So, either way. Right now, I've been mostly talking to different companies. And today I had an interview with, I think it was Peloton. Dude, the recruiter, dog shit, like zero energy. Like she made me feel like unwelcomed as fuck just for talking to her. But she said she's gonna push my resume to the hiring manager. If it ends up looking like a decent gig, I might end up switching there. But I was like, holy shit, dude. Like it was one of those weird, awkward things where like, for the first time in a long time, I was on the phone talking to her, and she was like, it was one of those weird things where like you finish your sentence, and you don't know if you should keep talking or some shit. Like they're just like listening and not saying anything. And it's like, okay, like, I don't know what the fuck you want me to say the Star Spangled Banner here. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. But, yeah, in general, it's been pretty good. I guess as good as 2020 can be. I think for the most part, life is looking on the up and up. I think that I kind of regret not being in a better kind of work schedule. What I mean by that is that in the past, like when I first started working from home, like during this whole pandemic thing, it was very hard to like, I don't know, it was just really weird where like I just wanted to keep working. There was a couple times where like on average my daily hours was like 9 to 10 hours. There's times where like, if I did a lot of work and then that Friday, I would just like, leave 2 hours early, make up for some of it, but it's just really weird where like the hours where it's like I don't necessarily have to go to bed super early because like I could just wake up tomorrow. I don't have a commute. I basically got another like free 2 hours because now I don't have to wake up an hour earlier to drive there and I don't have to worry about that extra hour of like coming home. So I got that extra bit of time. So it was kind of like a weird thing where I didn't know what the fuck to do with all that time, and I ended up just working a little bit more than I really should have. Not really should have, but there's certain things like even like recently for the first time I told my manager like one thing that I don't like about my company, this has happened a couple times where they'll ask you to do something, right? Like in a ticket they'll be like hey, implement this feature and do this, that, and the third, and I'll do it. And then after I do it, they'll look at it, like the architect or whoever, look at it and be like, oh no, I didn't want it like this, I want it like that. And it's like, motherfucker, you never said that. You were never specifically, like, it wasn't specific. Like, why the fuck are you telling me this shit? Now I gotta redo all of it or half of it. And recently, one thing that we were doing that, like, is really fucking mismanaged and retarded is we're recently moving to, it is the last phase anyway, this doesn't matter. We were recently moving towards using OAuth. Now, if you don't know what OAuth is basically the standard for most web security. That's what Dokkan uses. Dokkan uses OAuth. Most of its requests, anyway. And it's pretty hard to get right unless you do it in an organized manner. And for some reason, my job, like, we did everything, like, super organized, super straightforward. We do this, that, and the third. Dude, this fucking Goku is a fucking monster, dude. This is, like, I'm surprised. Now I know why people were hyping this Goku. This Goku's fucking badass. But, it basically, recently we were doing something for one of our services, and our service was somewhat new in terms of the structure and the architecture, and they weren't really like sure how the fuck we were supposed to like do certain things. And basically what it boils down to is that right now the way that we're implementing security is that we're implementing security with two services, our application service, and then our other service is a sidecar Docker image, which works until it doesn't work, because the way that they configured it, like, this is so stupid. I don't know why the fuck they did this, but the application, that the sidecar that you use for all the signing, looks for the parent application, and the parent application's name has to be app, APP, as the container. And the way that we have our old stuff for deployments, the way it's defined, is that this application, every application has like the service name. So like for this, it'll be like schema service, right? That'll be the name. And like if I change that, it fucks up everything else. It fucks up the URL, it fucks up all the other shit. So I was like, dude, I spent so much time trying to figure that out. And finally I was just like, dude, like, you know, this ain't, like, this shit ain't working. Like, this ain't worth it. Like, this is literally a waste of time. So I ended up finally reaching out to my manager, and the architect was on vacation, so whenever he comes back, he can deal with it and try to figure out what the best course of action is. But I basically told him, listen, like, this is taking way too much time. The whole point of this was just to fucking get authorization in place. Right now, it doesn't work with the new OAuth method unless you do it in an application. The way I did it is literally, it was just application validation, but it was in the application as opposed to using the sidecar. For some reason, the architect was like, oh, try to use the sidecar, like, try to get it to work, do this, do that. And I did do it, and I did try it, and it did not work out. And I spent so much time, I was like, dude, and I even spent like an hour extra of the day, so like from 9 to 7, almost 8. And I don't even, first of all, I don't want to do that, and now my company's starting to use something called Git Flow, where like they can check when you commit things, they can check when you did things, and it's like, it's fucking awkward and weird when like your manager's like, oh, how come at 8 p.m. you did this? And it's like, dude, like I just felt like building something, or I felt like pushing a commit, and like I got off at 8, like I don't usually work late, but now I have to like justify shit to my manager. But either way, the architect will figure out, he'll see what's happening. But that's one of the reasons why, like, I would like to work in a larger organization, someone that's a little bit more strict in terms of what their guidelines and what they tell you. It's not necessarily something where, like, oh, like, they need to absolutely, positively tell you everything you need to do, or else you're not going to be able to do it. But, at the same time, like, if you're telling me to do something and I give you a solution, I'm like, okay, here you go, here's the solution, and then you're like, oh, no, that's not the solution I wanted. And then it's like, dude, like, what the fuck? Like, be specific, or have this pre-groomed, or have this pre-tested, because originally this whole thing legit was supposed to be 4 hours. It ended up taking 3 days, and that's because the architect made the assumption of like, oh yeah, this should just work, just rename it, it'll work, and it didn't. And it's like, okay, like, what the fuck? Like, how the fuck do you not know this is supposed to be something that's uniform, that's rolled out, and we're not supposed to be the guinea pigs. At least we're not supposed to be. That's another thing I don't like about my company, is a lot of times they'll say things are done but they're not done, and then you have to pretend like they're done, otherwise they get salty, and you'll be like you'll tell them and be like, hey, this wasn't done, and they're like, alright, yeah, but do your best. And like, oh, but this, that, but like, they'll say like, oh, but this 3/4 were done, and this quarter wasn't done, what's the big deal? And it's like, sometimes I don't understand that quarter is the most important quarter, and that quarter is going to end up taking like a fucking sprint to do. Either way, I mean, my company is a good company. I've learned a lot. My resume is God tier. There's most companies that usually call me back, so it's not a huge issue. I'm still salty that I was a fucking choke artist. The first interview was with the job I was most interested in with Amazon, but I had the least amount of study time. So my dumbass fucking took that online fucking test and choked like fucking Marshall Mathers. But either way, at the end of the day, I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm happy with the line of work I chose, honestly, to be honest with you. I mean, like, at the end of the day, even if I don't leave this company, like, say I worked here for another year or two, which I don't want to do, but let's just say that was the case, it's not a toxic work environment. It's just something that, me personally, there's certain small things, like I mentioned, that are a little annoying, as well as the fact that I think I should be paid more. But it's not the end of the world. And at the end of the day, I get to work from home. I don't have to worry about fucking getting corona, other than if my family does some retarded shit. Um, I'm really that's one of the things. Like, you have to be grateful for what you have. Like, okay, I might not have a job at Google or a job at Amazon or a job at one of these gigantic tech companies where, like, there's more prestige associated with it. Maybe it's more organized. Maybe the pay is better. But at the same time, like, I got to count my blessings in terms of I'm literally working from home, not leaving my house. I'm literally getting the same amount of money, actually more, because now I'm not paying for commute and I'm not paying for tolls and shit like that. So at the end of the day, I'm on the up and up, bro. I'm catching W's. I shouldn't be over here fucking complaining, crying, bitching, and moaning when I've dealt with worse in the past and been happier. So at the end of the day, it's one of those things to, I guess, kind of check yourself before you fucking wreck yourself. Protect your neck. One of those things. Can I transform right now? Yes, sir. Oh, man, I want to fucking get some orbs in this bitch. I didn't get that many orbs the last time I transformed. Fucking goddamn 2 fucking orbs. They cucked me, bro. Give me those orbs, please. Dude, this Trunks, like, Trunks isn't really one of my super favorite characters. Like, he's a cool character. But, like, if I had to, go in order of coolness, it'd definitely be Goku, Vegeta, Gohan. Trunks is after Gohan in my mind. But they did his transformation so fucking well. Like, compared to this Gohan. I love Gohan's transformation. But no bullshit, I'm not even joking with you. I'm being dead ass fucking serious. I have seen Gohan's transformation, I think, less than 10 times. And already I'm on number 12 with this fucking Trunks just in this fucking battle alone. So that kind of goes to show you, like, how the different pedigree is associated with these transformations. I really hope for the next, like, download celebration, whatever the fuck it is, even if it's like the original transforming Goku and transforming Frieza, where it's like every turn. I didn't like that much, but even if it was that, I'd be like, okay, that's better than this bullshit where, like, you need to fucking be less than 50% HP, have a special character on the fucking field, da 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 da. Ooh, that's a nice end screen right there, boy. Love it. Da 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 da. You know what I mean? With this motherfucker, it's like, alright, third turn, I transform. It's that fucking simple. What the fuck is the hard part of that? So, Trunks, you're not my favorite, but you working your way up, bro. You a real one for that. So let's see. First completion, boom. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody knows, yeah, that was your friend, brother. By the way, let me just say, as much as I have been shafted to fucking bits, first of all, I haven't been shafted. That's another thing. The whole thing I've been talking about in terms of counting your blessings and being happy. Like, really, I got a shit ton of badass characters, and I ended up getting this Gohan to the point where, like, he's almost 100%. Motherfucker got 20 additional, bro. 20 additional? 20 additional and 9 critical? That's pretty fucking legit, bro. That's pretty fucking legit. But yeah, I did not get quote-unquote shafted. I definitely feel blessed. I feel amazing. Didn't get Vegeta or Gogeta, but again, like, the whole point is you got to count your blessings. You got to count your blessings, and you got to know when to fucking hold them, fold them, and be happy with what you got. So I think that is pretty much it for me. I am very happy. I would be even happier